Hi guys, it's Robin Scherzer with Robin Stampin' Hood. Welcome to the Hood. Today I'm going to do my sixth and final techniques class. And these are some oldies but goodies, and I just had so much fun kind of finding these again and reliving these, if you will. When you've been a demonstrator for as long as I have, you've seen it all and then you forget about it. So these are some of the things I have forgotten about, and they're such nice, fun, easy techniques. Okay, so the first one we're gonna do is Poppin' Pastels. Now, you guys, this is like the best, I don't even know, it was my very first technique. When I first went to my very first workshop, she did Poppin' Pastels, and it just made me hooked. So these are our pastels now. They're really inexpensive. They're only like $9, I think. So I'm going to show you what you can do with them. So these are a little different than our original pastels. So they're a little harder. So you have to kind of scrape at them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little spatula part of this, my take a pick tool, and I'm going to take some of the, I guess it's almost like Summer Splash, isn't it? I'm going to do this, put a little, so I'm just putting a little dust down there because these are so hard. You're not, if you just did that, you're not going to get anything from it. So it's best, I think, if you do it that way. And then I'm going to take some of this. I know this is like the Miami Dolphins colors, but it's going to work really lovely for what I'm about to do. So you need your pastels and you need a Versamark. And we are going to use the Country Flowers set. And this is for my technique book that we're putting together. So we just are going to use a little piece there. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, well, you know what? Let's do the bucket first. We're going to do the bucket first, okay? And you could use your blends with this too. I am just going to use my daubers though. So I'm going to do the bucket with the Versamark, okay? And I'm going to do my bucket in this Summer Splash color. And you're just going to kind of tap around where you stamped. Isn't that fun? Look at how it's like magic. It's just coming back up. And if you wanted to color it in, you could color it in. And there you go. So there's the first part of it. I'm just tapping off the excess so it's not all over. And then I'm going to take my flowers and stamp my flowers. You want to really make sure you have good coverage with your Versamark, because that will help you then with your coverage, getting the pastels to stick. So then I'm going to grab this, and if you know where, we could use multiple colors, but I'm just going to use the tangerine or the orange. I guess it's poppy maybe. Look at that, you guys. It's like magic. I love this technique. I have forgotten how much fun it is and how pretty you can do it. So like I said, you could also use this with your blends and put multiples of different colors and then pick it up with your blends and color it where you wanted. Like if we wanted some of the leaves to be green, we could have done that. But this is just a real subtle, I love it. Isn't it fun? So that's the first technique, called Poppin' Pastels. Okay, our second technique is called a floating card. So what you want is you're going to take some acetate, and I'm actually going to use my silicone pad because we're going to use glue. And you're going to take some strips of paper. You'll probably want to do about a 1/2 inch on them. And depending on how big of paper, this is again just a sample. So what you're gonna basically do is you're gonna line up these strips of paper and make them as even as you can. And it's gonna appear the paper is floating on your card. So you're just gonna, I'm just kind of laying them out to make sure that I'm capturing, we're going to lay them out right. And you probably want about a 1/4 of an inch or so between each of them. And you could use your grid paper to help with that. If you want to make sure they're nice and even. So there we go. I think that's good. And so the key for me, I think here is I'm going to use my glue on the actual acetate, because the glue will, it's kind of hard when you put it on. This is a longer piece of paper, and if you need it to scoot a little bit, then you have that wiggle room. So it's just easier, because then you know you're not going to get glue on anything else other than the paper that you are going to lay on top of it. So I'm just going to make sure I'm keeping those all straight. Again, just the glue to the acetate. And I'm trying to do that as even as I can. And again, you can use your grid paper to help you keep that lined up. You can see how easy that is. Maybe a little bit down. And if you're not exactly right too, the glue helps, so you have a little bit of that time to wiggle it where you need it to be. And then we're going to do that. Okay, and then we got one more. And we're going to do it right along here. Okay. I think that looks relatively good. We're going to put my glue away here. And now I'm going to grab my snips. And we're going to snip off the excess paper. So this will dry clear, so you don't have to worry about it, but that's going to be covered up anyways. So I'm just going along the edge, and I'm getting rid of that paper, the excess paper. And again, you can see how it's going to look on this side. It's still needing to dry, but it will dry. Just give it a second. Guess what I just said didn't make a whole lot of sense, did it? Okay, got one more. We're gonna flip off there. Perfect. So I'm just gonna get rid of that stuff. And then what you want to use is dimensionals, because we're gonna put this on our paper, but we need dimensionals. Now I think the best thing to use are the strips, the foam strips, which are these, the foam adhesive strips. They're nice because they're long, and you can, we want to put them on the back side of the paper, and then it's going to look like it's floating. So let's grab our first strip. I haven't used these in a long time, so, and I'm just going to put it all the way across the back. And again, you can use regular dimensionals to do this as well. This for me was just easier to do it with these long foam strips. And we'll take the next one. Maybe even not do it quite so long, and then it'll be more even if we do that. Okay. And then got this one, and we just need one more. So I'm giving it a good push down. I haven't used these in a while. These are great for shaker cards, and just when you have a big space that you want to pop up. They're good to have in your stash. All right. And then there, easy peasy. And then we're going to go ahead and pull off the stripping. And like I said, just using dimensionals is fine too. I just like the support of these strips. But put them on your next list to order. right? All right. So then I'm just gonna put it on my back. Again, this is just kind of a sample of what it's gonna look like. So now when you're looking at it, it looks like it's floating. Isn't that fun? And of course you can do big backgrounds, and then I would put little, you know, a little thing on the front to just, so it just looks like it's floating. There's so much fun things to do. So look out on the internet to see what you can find for floating card images, and I think you'll find some really fun stuff. So that's that's technique number 2. Okay, this third technique is really old, and I totally, looking through my stuff, was like, oh my gosh, I have to do that again. So this is called bleach stamping. So what you need is a paper plate or something to create you want some ledge to it because you're creating a stamp pad. So this is just regular paper towel. And here's what's important that I don't think people realize. So your bleach is only potent for a very short amount of time. So I'm not putting my bleach on here if I'm not going to do it right away. So just keep that in mind when you do this technique. And you just need a little, and I'm just going to pour, this is concentrate, which I probably shouldn't have used concentrate, but it still works because you can see how it's just kind of pooling on my napkin. So I'm going to give it a little bit of movement here because I don't want it to just pool like that. So what you want to use too is a darker cardstock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a Night of Navy, and I think I'm gonna use just this very solid stamp. We used this when we did the faux embossing. So you're gonna just stamp your stamp on it, and then you're gonna stamp it on your cardstock. Give it a nice, good, even push. Do not rock it back and forth, but just give it a nice, even push. I'm holding it down because I really want the bleach to get into the cardstock. So then I'm gonna pull it up, and you can see it's white. And don't worry about the bleach damaging your stamps. You should be fine. I know that will be a question, and let me show. And then, like I said, this will only last for maybe really good potent 5-10 minutes, and then you'll want a new ink pad, if you will. So we're gonna let that dry, but I want to show you a few different stamps that I did. So I did this one, and it's the bird from Inspirational Sketches, so you can see it here. And you know, he's very, because it's so detailed, you're not seeing a lot of the detail because of the bleach. So probably a stamp more like this. And you can see where I didn't hold my stamp down. I didn't give it good pressure right there. So just keep those things in mind too. I think so something more along a solid nature with when you use the bleach is what you probably want to do. But that's it. That's bleach stamping. It gives you that reverse image, and it's kind of fun to add to backgrounds on your cards and that kind of thing. So that's technique number 3. Okay, the last technique is an oldie but a goodie. It's called the faux chalkboard technique. So you need the craft white ink, and this is an old pad, but we still sell it now. And a sponge, or you could even, I tried mine with a sponge brush, or not a sponge brush, one of the brushes, the blending brushes. So you're just gonna put some white around the edges of your black, like this. Okay, and then you're gonna take some of it, and you're just gonna lightly go across the paper. You know how when you were a kid and they had the chalkboards and you'd erase, but you'd still have the chalk in it. That's the whole point of it. So then I'm just going to take this stamp, ink it up really well, and stamp it right in the middle. And there you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Thanks for joining me for my technique series number 6. Happy stamping!